Welcome to OutWithdan, the podcast that spotlights and examines the voices of LGBTQ+ authors, characters, and our allies. Together, we lift our voices and we tell our stories. I'm Dan White. Join me as I chat with this week's author. Hello and welcome to a special Saints and Sinners edition of Out with Dan. Today I'm joined by Rick Clifton, creator of Quills&Chills and other podcasts. Welcome, Rick.
Hey, hello. Haven't seen you in forever.
For anyone who doesn't know, we live across the hallway from each other, so we see each other often. So I know you've been to New Orleans before because we've both been there together. Are there any bars or restaurants or cemeteries or haunts that you're looking forward to seeing on your next trip to New Orleans?
The answer is yes to all of the above. I think what I'm most excited about is actually smashing my face into a delicious little beignet. That's the one thing I cannot wait to check out. But you know what I was thinking about this morning when I was thinking about this is, you remember that restaurant we went to? We woke up after the first night, kind of hungover, and I think I had said we changed the name from Bourbon Street to Tequila Street. It was like, and we ventured out to try and find a restaurant, and we ended up at Mother's Restaurant. And I have dreamed about those biscuits of hers since that morning, and I absolutely can't wait. So I guess the big thing is
I have probably been going to Mother's for 20 some years, and it never, ever disappoints me. That's for sure. And I'm looking forward to introducing you to Mamu up on Rampart Street. They are so delicious, and I'm looking forward to going back there again this year. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, that'll be fun. I'm very excited about the food scene for sure.
It's always a good thing.
You know what I would really like to check out, because we didn't get a chance to do it last time, is Marie Laveau's House of Voodoo on Bourbon Street. I guess I realized it's at this point very much a tourist trap, but I don't care. I kind of want to go because, you know, Marie Laveau is a badass, so I'm all in.
And sometimes we just have to do badass things in life. I like it.
That's exactly right. Last for me, sorry. I'm hoping I also get a Greg-isms sighting. If you don't know who Greg-isms is, he is a TikToker, and you know how I love TikTok. But he describes himself as an accidental influencer. His name is Greg Cada, and he's got over 2.7 million followers. He is a teacher, and his claim to fame is find your joy. So every video that he does, it's always find your joy. But he's funny, he's uplifting, and he lives in New Orleans. I hope we get a sighting.
Well, here's a shout out, Greg. We're going to be there March 22nd to 24th. Come find us, or come let us find you, one or the other.
That's right. We'll tag you. I'll tag him.
So. Perfect. And what about Saints and Sinners are you most excited for?
Well, this is my first one, so I'm super, super excited to connect with other fellow LGBTQ+ writers. I can't wait to share some experiences with them, but most of all, I really just want to show support for this event, because I think that it is absolutely vital, especially right now with everything going on in our community. And I think it's especially empowering. So I really want to show up and be supportive.
I totally agree. It's a great time, and it's a wonderful festival. Can you tell us what you're working on?
I'm working on everything at the moment.
I was about to say, maybe we should narrow it down. Could you tell us what you're not working on?
Exactly. No, I will whittle it down to a couple. So I think right now I'm knee deep in, I've partnered up. It's not just me, but I'm knee deep in writing season 2 of Old Cove, which is an audio drama that you can find on all the podcast platforms. We are diving into all kinds of new twists and turns for our characters, introducing some very intriguing and very mysterious new characters, and maybe getting rid of a few others. Who can say? And
that's what happens in audio dramas. People die and they come back from the dead.
That's right. That's right. And then other than that, I've got another podcast that I am the host and producer for called Quills&Chills. And that is my favorite little guilty pleasure podcast where I interview horror writers and filmmakers.
I love it. And together, we're two of the four voices of Queer Magnolia's podcast. So we're both sort of all over the place.
That's right. And we are live on Queer Magnolias every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. PST on all the social channels.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you. Do you have a website or social media you would like to share?
I do. So I've got my personal website is rickclifton.com. You can find out a little more about me there. My podcasts are the ones I was talking about anyway. There's at Queer Magnolias on Twitter /X. There's at Queer Magnolias Podcast on Instagram. Quills&Chills is at Quills&Chills on both Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky. And lastly, Old Cove is at Old Cove Podcast across all the socials.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. And I look forward to being at Saints&Sinners with you.
Well, thank you. And I look forward to that Bloody Mary you're about to bring over in just a little bit.
That's a great possibility. Thanks very much.
Right,
hang on just a second. Got it. Thank you for joining us for a very special Saints&Sinners edition of Out with Dan. The Saints&Sinners LGBTQ plus Literary Festival is a part of the Tennessee Williams Literary Festival, and it is held each year in New Orleans. This year's festival will be March 22nd through the 24th. We would love to have you join us. For more information on Saints&Sinners, please visit sasfest.org.